Oh no, you did you?
I did it.
You watched the second one.
I watched The Man from Earth too.
Yeah, you watched the second one.
Holocene.
Holocene man. What are your thoughts?
Is Holocene a
It's a
period of time or
period.
something?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a period. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Is that the one we're in? Are we in the Holocene?
I think the point of that movie, correct me if I'm wrong, is that we were reaching the end of the Holocene era, and that's why he's starting to.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. That's why I realised,
So
yes.
it's the new age
Yeah,
now.
because are we giving spoilers? Are we allowed to give spoilers? Like what, the movie's been out for 5 years?
Yeah, so the first one, it's a man in a cabin, claims to have been a Cro-Magnon, lived for 10,000 years or some shit, 12,000 years. And
14,000
he's
years.
with a bunch of people who could disprove or prove or whatever. He was in a good company to fuck with them, essentially, whether he was telling the truth or not. The second one, because he moves every 10 years because people sort of cotton on to the fact that he's not aging. The second one sort of picks up 10 years later after he left the cabin. The anthropologist guy wrote a book about his night with the Cro-Magnon and ruined his academic career because people thought he was taking the piss. What do you to pick it up? Yeah, what's going on in this movie?
No, that's spot on. That's a great little summary. But I think the biggest point of difference is the first movie is all in the one room.
It's all in the cabin. And I did
It's all
say
in
to
the
you that
cabin.
the second one's a bit more dynamic, I guess we'll call it.
Yes, it's a bit more normal in that they break out of the one room. They kind of go for the more modern multi-scene type movie.
Yep.
And look,
He's up to his old tricks again. He's moved to a new university. He's shacked up with the lovely lady. He's up to his old tricks again, isn't he?
He is, but you can only get away from this for so long. It was foreshadowed in the first one
Yep.
that he might not be able to keep this up because now there's more records and it's hard to go unnoticed these days. There's
The
photographs for
internet,
starters.
yeah.
The internet.
But he
People can
doesn't like taking
communicate.
his photo taken. He's got a thing about it. He's like Axl Rose, He's like, fuck off with the cameras, right?
Yeah, he's always got some little little idea about how he can sort of block his face from photos and things.
He's not on
Because
the
what
university
happens is there's
website,
these.
and he blocks it with his fucking hand. Yeah. So
How
he
can you
does
not
two
be?
moves.
Yeah, look, it's ridiculous to not have your photo taken this day and age. But these 4 university students are onto him, right? And I can't remember how. I think they borrow one of his books, and
He lets people in through the back door to retrieve books at their leisure. Just students of his, I guess.
yeah,
And
he's
that's
a good
cool.
bloke. He's a good bloke. Hey, did we mention that he's Jesus?
He sort of alluded to the fact that he was the character that sort of is the Jesus of the Bible, but he didn't claim he walked on water, didn't claim he was the Son of God.
So
No
essentially, what
miracles
he
whatsoever.
says is he at some point started working his way east, and studied with Buddha,
with the Buddha,
and then worked his way back and started teaching similar, what became Christianity.
Sort of, yeah. And
Right.
it was just
So this
good
guy
year
is Jesus, right? And one of the 4 school kids that figures out they're onto him and they start figuring out that he is someone that has he's changing his identity and has potentially lived forever or 14,000 years. And he's a sort of a Judas type character, right? He's a Christian. He's a devout Christian.
Devout Christian who's denying that this is Jesus for one, and because he doesn't like what he's saying about how, I'm not really the Son of God, I'm just a guy. It's all good. I'm just still here, kind of thing. He wasn't having a bar.
To cut a long story, to cut to the chase, really, this Judas character ends up alone in a room with Jesus tied up to a chair.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's another person in the group who wants to like worship him and make him the new savior, the real returning of Jesus Christ, kind of thing. You got that who's kind of into that side of it. She's like, no, you are Jesus, and people need to know your message and stuff, and what is your message, kind of thing. And he's like, no, my message is I move away every 10 years and bang a new lady and have a new professorship.
Yeah, because he's got a girl in this one, which is interesting because he knows he has to move on.
Had a girl in the last one. He had a girl
Did
in the
he?
last one.
No,
Yeah,
but
she
I
was the
thought it was.
lady who went with him in the ute at the end.
Oh, I thought she
He
was
like
just a
goes,
fling. I thought she was a
oh,
fling, whereas this one was more of a, they were right into it. But the one
mm.
thing I noticed that made no sense, and you may have not picked up on this, but you know when
Yeah,
there's
go on.
certain plot things that happen in the plot that they show on camera, so you assume that it must feed into the plot, otherwise why would they show it?
Sure. Yeah,
Right?
of course.
When they break in to his house, the 4 kids, or maybe it was 2 or 3 of the kids, break into his house to, like, I don't know, rummage through his shit, figure out what he's got going on. That girl that's got the hots for him, that throws herself at him at one point, which is quite awkward, by the way.
Gnarly scene. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's a gnarly scene. She steals some panties. Can I call them panties?
Yes.
Out of the drawer. So he's,
remembered
Jesus
this.
has a
Yeah,
girlfriend, right?
Yeah,
Jesus has a girlfriend.
Lady,
I don't know if she's like jealous of it or what. I don't
She's
know if she's
also a
doing
professor.
voodoo shit. Yeah. So she steals the female underwears out of the drawer and puts them in her bag. And they show that on the screen. And I was thinking to myself, I was racking my brain. I was like, okay, where's this going? What's she going to possibly do?
Why did she take her undies?
I thought maybe, look, I was thinking voodoo stuff because I thought maybe she's got the hots for him, so she can somehow, give her crabs or something using the.
What the fuck?
I don't know how voodoo works.
It's the weirdest. You're right. It's so weird. They're breaking into the house. They're all stealing important junk, and then she goes up to the room.
She goes up and
has a
steals
sniff
underwear.
and takes the underwear home. And they never address it, do they?
No, definitely not. Well, that's why I wanted to raise it. See, maybe I missed something. Or maybe it didn't.
No, I forgot about it. Yeah, that is really. That's quite weird.
What I love about is how this Christian kid gets so worried that, because this Jesus fellow is saying, the books, the Bible's a bit of a crock. Yeah, I did some things, but people have taken this and twisted it and made a religion out of it. Yeah. I never wanted to make a religion. I was just trying to teach basic principles.
Sure. And during the scene that you mentioned, him in the room with him tied to a chair, he was doing all sorts of shit. He's like, well, if you think I'm Jesus, well, then just what are you going to do? Shoot me? Or if you don't think I'm Jesus, you want to shoot me then? And he just goes, is this a test of faith? You want me to shoot you? And he's like, bro, like, whatever. Hey, like, shoot me. I don't give a fuck kind of thing, right? It was a bit of that.
You either have to stab me or let me go.
Stab me or let me go or some shit. What does he do? What does he do?
What does he do?
Did he stab him or did he let him go?
Oh, look, you'll have to watch to find out.
No, he stabbed him.
He does stab him. He stabs Jesus.
He stabs Jesus.
A devout Christian stabs Jesus. That's why I was referring to him as Judah. Yeah, in the spot. He says,
should I stab you in the spot? And he's like, do whatever the fuck you want, man, kind of thing. I don't know what he says, but he says something to that effect. Do whatever the fuck you want, bro. And he stabs him.
How's the irony of a Christian stabbing Jesus?
Stabbing anybody. Stabbing anybody. Why are we stabbing? Why are we stabbing? When did the stabbing thing?
I tell you what, your brother redeemed himself. Because I was a bit worried after the first movie.
Yeah, right. You're saying the movie's redeemed himself. What happened to the kid who stabbed him?
The kid. Well, they don't really deal with that. He just sort of absconds, and no charges are laid.
There's no body.
Yeah, there's no body. Oh, yeah. Well, Jesus absconds as well.
Jesus leaves to a cave.
Oh, classic. That is. He would have felt right at home.
He would have loved it.
Because he's a caveman, right?
He would have loved it.
Hey, have you been watching... Have you finished Graham Hancock's...
He's only had like kettles and couches and stuff for the last couple of 100 years. That's fuck all in 14,000, right? He's much more accustomed to the caveman experience.
Oh, I reckon pants would make him itchy. Once you've done 14,000... When did we invent pants?
When did we invent pants?
Do you reckon we had pants? Did the Egyptians had pants, right?
Sure. We had pants
like
back then.
Towel. They wrapped a towel around themselves or something.
We had sort of coverings for a long time. Probably the whole time. 14,000 really isn't cavemen.
But it used to be a leaf, right? It started as a leaf. You just put a leaf around there.
Yeah, just pop a leaf on and it stays there apparently. You just pop a leaf.
And a string. You attach it to a string.
Oh, you need string. I
But
never saw the string.
The leaf is more to hide your shame because they were obviously pretty upset about their privates, and that's. Or is that just our? That's just our depiction, right?
Yeah, they probably were nude.
Yeah, it's actually funny when you see photos of actual tribal people,
sure,
that haven't had, I guess, what the Western influence that I'm used to, and they've just got their titties hanging out, like all their junk. Of course, that's just they're just like, yeah, it's me. Why would they would find it hilarious? They're like, wait, say what now? Why can't you? Why can't you? What's the problem with like? And then that you'd see a bloke's, they'd see like, oh, this bloke's got his titties hanging out. That's not allowed, right? And then you'd be like, no. You have allowed. To. That's
there's a bit of that
different.
Going
it's
on.
different, right? He's got a penis so he can show his nips. You don't have a penis, you can't show your nips.
Yeah, and when you're in another country, you adhere to the customs and whatever of that country that you're in, right? Like you are respectful and whatnot, right?
Yeah,